Hi, I'm Andrew Pierce with EPICS at Purdue. Today I'm going to walk you through our Intro to EPICS module. This module has 5 components, and there'll be 5 individual videos that go along with that. In order to complete this professional development hour, you'll need to do all 5 modules, and that's really going to set you up to understand how the class works and be prepared for your first week of lab. So the first module will be the EPICS overview, and we're going to jump right into that one. The next will be the course structure, where we're going to talk about how the course functions and how it works. We'll go over how grading works in a non-traditional class like EPICS. I'll cover some of the resources available to you to help you get your projects done. And then last, we'll talk a little bit about how to use the labs and do that safely. So this first module is going to be all about the course overview and talking through how EPICS works. So EPICS is a design course. It's a service learning design course in which teams of undergraduate students are partnered with community organizations to design and build real solutions for the community, things that are actually going to be used by people to make a real difference. We don't do any theoretical projects here. They're all real. It's a design course for everyone. So no matter what major you're coming from, you can really learn something useful in EPICS. Because what we cover in the class is a design process or a method for being able to create the best possible solution to whatever problem is in front of you. And EPICS is an interesting situation, non-traditional course in which students really lead the project. And the instructors aren't there to give you a lecture or to tell you what to do, but really to support you and give you coaching and mentorship as we move along. Some characteristics of the Purdue program: we're a community-based design course that's centered around long-term partnerships. We have partners that have been going on for more than 20 years, before most of you were born. And so it's really cool to be able to see how we impact a community by doing small projects and little improvements a little bit over a long period of time. So that's a really exciting part about the way that we work. And we are a community-based design course. So all the students in our class are doing these projects in order to learn how to be better designers. We're also vertically integrated and multidisciplinary. What that means is a vertically integrated course is meant to be retaken multiple times throughout your undergraduate career so that as you learn new materials in your other classes, you can bring them back and apply them into the work that you're doing in design. And so you are able to build your skill set as you move along, but also you're able to be more productive and provide better outcomes for your community as you go along. And we're multidisciplinary. So as we said, this class is not just for engineering students, but it's for anyone who wants to learn the process of design and really understand how to be an innovator and make things better in the world around you. And we find that in industry, there's no such thing as a mechanical engineering team. There are always multidisciplinary teams that bring in a range of different experiences so that everyone can contribute in their own way to make that project work well. And again, it's meant to be an extended design experience. So taking the course repeatedly throughout your career at Purdue is going to be the best way to get the most out of EPICS. So how EPICS works in our educational philosophy: as I mentioned, we're doing real world projects, and we think that that really motivates students to do their best and to really extend themselves and go out of your comfort zone to learn new things. So we think doing real projects is a huge benefit to students, and it'll give you the opportunity to go and talk about all the things that you learned in the course of doing that when you go to interview with an employer down the road, whether for an internship or a co-op or for a full-time job. So when they ask you, tell me about a time that you had a conflict in a team, you've had that experience. Or tell me about a time you had a major setback in something you did and how you overcame it. You will have those experiences in this class because they're messy and ambiguous, because they come from real people in the real world. And so you learn to navigate through that kind of an environment, which is critical when you get out into the workplace. We really try to focus EPICS as being professional preparation. So everything in the class is structured to be as much like a career experience or like an internship as we can, rather than structuring it like a course. So we won't talk about how to maximize points in the class to get the best grade. We'll really talk about how do you continue in your professional preparation, your professional formation to really be the best you that you could be. And then, the last piece here is we really try to provide a safe space for you to be able to make mistakes while taking the lead in the design that you're doing. So if you get out into the workplace and you make major mistakes, there's no one there to kind of catch you when you fall, and you can really get into trouble doing that. So here, while you're at school and going through our classes, we really encourage you to step out of your comfort zone, try new things, try and learn new things, and develop your skill set while you have your TA and your instructor there behind you to kind of watch what you're doing and make sure that you're not getting into trouble. So take advantage of that opportunity. It's a unique one. When you're in the lab, if people are working on tools and equipment, don't do anything dangerous, but this is your chance to learn. So step up and give it a try. Continuing our discussion about the educational philosophy of EPICS, there's a number of learning objectives that we want you to get out of this class. The first one is simply disciplinary knowledge, or the ability to practice your own discipline, whatever that is, in a real project context. So don't expect that you have to come in if you are, for instance, an education major and write code as though you were a computer scientist. That's not what we want you to do. We want you to practice your own discipline. And if that means extending into some new areas for you to grow, we'd love for you to do that, but we're not expecting you to do that. Really want you to work on your own discipline. We want you to learn this process of design, which is a way of sort of optimizing the probability of success when you do something new. So you're going to walk through a sort of stepwise design process, and it's going to help lead you toward a successful solution. You're going to get to practice teamwork and leadership. There are many leadership opportunities in EPICS. Really encourage you to step up and take advantage of those. But for sure, you're going to work in a team environment. You're going to have to learn how to communicate with people, both inside your team and outside your team. You have to communicate both through written documentation and verbal presentations, as well as informal communication, both with your teammates and community. So it's an excellent opportunity to sort of develop and practice those skills. You have to learn how to do some ethical decision making, and one of our later modules, our professional development hours, is going to walk you through some ethical frameworks. You'll learn customer awareness. So you probably in any of your courses haven't had the opportunity to work with real people outside the university who may not like the work that you do and will give you some real critical feedback, or they may absolutely love it. And so you're going to learn how to work with people and understand their needs and build empathy with them. And along with that comes a significant learning about the social context. So how do you work in places that you're not familiar with or where you don't necessarily belong to make something that's useful and meaningful to those people? And then a common thread through all this is going to be you're going to learn how to learn independently. So EPICS is going to give you scaffolds and help to get where you're going in design, but you're going to have to, on your own, branch out and pull in those little bits of learning that are going to let you be successful in advancing your project. And that skill becomes so useful when you leave the university and there isn't a professor there to tell you what chapter to read from. You got to go out and learn it on your own. So those are the skills and professional skills that we want you to practice along the way here, and really hope that you advance those as you go. We mentioned in EPICS that we go out and work in the real community, and that comes with a lot of ambiguity. So be prepared for uncertainty and change. It's certainly possible that the main contact at your community partner might get a new job and move on in the middle of your project, or they may have their situation change and want an entirely different project halfway through the semester, or a million other smaller interruptions. And so be prepared for that uncertainty and change. Be ready to adapt and move along with it. Another thing that's uncommon in EPICS relative to your traditional courses is that there is no right answer. Your team instructor or advisor or TA doesn't know the right answer to the problem because it doesn't exist. No one has solved the problem that you're solving before. So you're really doing something on the frontier of design and knowledge. And so you can't expect there to be a right answer that you're led to. You have to develop a variety of ways that you could solve the problem, identify which one is the best one, and then iterate through that process to really get to something useful for your partner. And that can be really uncomfortable when you're not used to doing it, and that's okay. That's a growth and learning experience. When you're working with real partners, it's so important that you treat everyone with the utmost of respect. We're not going into communities to try to fix the community or correct the community, or because we have all the knowledge and they have no knowledge. We are partners. We are working together to try and make the world a better place. And so please go into your communities and really come with a curious and open mind and learn about them, and really treat everybody you can with respect and dignity. And then the last piece here is, communication really takes work. When you're used to courses where you're given a complete problem statement and you don't need any more information, this doesn't matter. But in our context, you're having to learn about your partner, understand them, and empathize with them. And developing that communication channel takes a lot of work. So it may not just be firing off one email and expecting that they get back to you. They're busy people with busy jobs, and your project may be less of a priority than other things they have going on. So make sure that you're communicating with your partners regularly. Meet them at the mode of communication they use. So if they don't answer emails well, but they answer phone calls well, then do that. Get their number and text with them, whatever it might be. Work through that process to make sure that you're meeting them where they're at on communications. To kind of sum those things, EPICS will be really what you make of it. So it can be a transformational experience, and it was for me. I actually took EPICS as an undergrad before going out into industry and working as an engineer developing total knee replacements. And the experiences I had in EPICS, I didn't appreciate as much when I was an undergrad as I did when I got into the working world. And I could see that the things that we did in this class were so similar to the things that I had to do to be successful in the workplace. So it's really a great opportunity to get some preparation to become a leader wherever you're going to end up in your professional career. And like I said, EPICS will really be what you make of it. If you put a lot into it, it's going to be a really satisfying experience. It's going to be very meaningful to you. If you're just here to get a credit and a grade, it probably won't mean that much to you. So I really encourage you to jump in with both feet and try to get the most out of the class that you can. Some of the keys to success in EPICS are to ask questions and ask for help. There are a lot of resources available to you in terms of people who have a lot of experience and know-how. But if you don't ask for help, they won't know to give you help. So don't think of needing help or asking questions as a failure. Think of it as the way that you learn and grow. So utilize your advisor, utilize your TAs, and make sure that you are going out and asking for help and getting the things you need to be successful. Really encourage you to treat EPICS like an internship. So don't think about trying to accumulate points in a class and maximize your grade and that kind of thing. But really think of it like a job you're trying to complete. And I think you'll really get more out of class that well. You have to work as a team. No one person can do all the things that we need to do to be successful in a multidisciplinary project. So really encourage you to put in the time to bond with your teammates, get to know each other, become friends, and really work as a team. You have to listen to your partner and learn from them. They are the experts in the problem that you're trying to solve. So you may have some technical knowledge they won't, but they know a lot more about the environment and community that they're working in than you do. So make sure you tap those partners as a great resource. Spend time in your community, get involved. It's a great way to advance your project if you go out and spend some time volunteering or just spending time with your community partner and your community. Last of all, this is a fun class. Just have a blast, really, make some new things, make friends, and make a difference in our community. And I think you'll love the course. So in summary, we're a community engaged design course. So working with real community organizations to teach the design process. The teams are student led. So you're going to get to set your own agenda, your own team dynamic, and your advisor and TA are really going to be there to kind of give you mentorship and coaching and help you along a positive direction. So jump in and take advantage of that opportunity to be a leader. And last but not least, these are all real projects that are meant to meet a community need, and these projects can mean the world to your community partners. So I really encourage you to give it your all.